Now we can discuss about the workplace stresses. First thing is job or a task demands like work, overload, uh, lack of task control, and role ambiguity. The second one is organizational factors, poor interpersonal relations, unfair management practices like things. Third one is financial and economic factors, and conflict between work and family roles and responsibilities. Your family have a problems. Your wife believe that you should be in your house at 5 p.m., but with the workload you cannot do that, and you have a lot of responsibilities in your working organizations. So the working organizations believe that you must be there as much as possible, and you have a lot of work to do. So but the 9 5 job is not it is not a 9 5 job, so 8 5 job. So you have to work hard, then it may be mismatch. And the training and the career development issues, lack of opportunity for a growth or promotion, like Ganesh is not allowed you to promote with your lacking of educational or any kind of problems, or even they are not allowing the I mean bottom level peoples to go up. And pro organizational climate, like lack of management, commitment to core values, conflicting communication styles like things. And how to wrap up these things. So inadequate staff levels, long work hours, shift works, role ambiguity, and exposure to infectious and hazardous substances. So how people react to stress, so that is key problems. So the common stress associated diseases, like we have to consider about common stress associated diseases. So there's a diminished immunity, headache, fatigue, weight gain, then dyslipidemia, hypertension, heart disease, eczema, then digestive problems, anxiety, depressions, alcoholisms, substance abuse, insomnia, irritable bowel syndrome, and fibromyalgia, decreased sex drive. Um, how to stress, coping, and resilience. Stress is a state of disharmony or threat to homeostasis. Psychological changes increase alertness, focus, and energy. Perceived demand may exceed the perceived resources. The coping means the ability to maintain control, thinks rationality, and problem solving. The ability to maintain control, think rationally, and the problem solving. The resilience means resistant quality that permit a person to recover quickly and thrive in spite of adversity. A resistant quality that permits a person to recover quickly and thrive in spite of adversity. So there are different kind of stress reactions. First thing is that psychological irritability, job dissatisfaction, dissatisfactions, and depressions. So behavioral reactions like sleep problems, absenteeism, and even physical problems or reactions like headache, upset stomach, and changes in blood pressures like things. Upset stomach means gastritis, even uh, physical problems, reactions for the stress conditions. So stress is very important. Stress management is very important for the health management as well. Main sources of stress in our life and be the effects of stress on the body. The sources of stress is an unpleasant state of a mind. So it happens when we perceive an event threatens our ability to cope. The event could be anything internal or external. So our ability to cope with it effectively and successfully. So these different states are called as stresses. So stress resistance is very important. So the adaptation occurs. Adaptation occurs means that activation of a hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis continues. So the stressor may be resolved. The body returns to homeostasis and may progress to exhaustion. Stress continues as resources are depleted. So what is exhaustion? That occurs when the demands of stress exceeds the person's ability to adapt. Occurs when the demands of the stress exceeds the person's ability to adapt it. It is a function in declines and may result in health problems like physical symptoms and mental symptoms also may see visible in this health problem. So the very important fact is that discussing signs and symptoms of stress. So one thing is that cognitive. Cognitive means decreased concentration, comprehensions, and memory. Decreased concentration, comprehension, and memory. And behavioral changes like irritability, withdrawal, violence, like things. And emotional changes like fear, anxiety, depression, and fatigue. The physiological changes like increase in blood pressure, high heart rate, and respirations, like things, and even the somatic symptoms and decreased immune responses. So, how to manage the stress? So, it is a crucial. It is very crucial here, and the very vital. How do you manage your daily stresses? And that time, and then we come up with the coping and the resilience. The coping means the ability to control emotions. Resilience means the ability to bounce back. The coping means ability to perceive reality. The resilience means the positive capacity to cope with the stress. Coping means ability to think rationally. Resilience means provide resistance to the negative events. The coping means ability to problem solve. The resilience means hardiness. Coping means culturally defined things, and the resilience means resourcefulness. So there are different types of coping methods. The first thing is the adaptive copings. Adaptive coping means to contribute to resolution of the stress response. The other thing is that maladaptive copings. So that means strategies that causes further problems. Strategies that cause further problems called maladaptive copings. So the active coping. What's an active coping? Actively seeking resolutions to the stress. Um, then we have to talk about the promote adaptive coping. How to promote adaptive coping? The thing is that realistic expectations needed. Set realistic goals first. Then planning. Anticipate problems. Have a backup plans. You should have a backup plans as well. Then reframing. Change the way you look at things. Change the way you look at the problems. It's called reframe. The relaxations. Learn relaxation techniques. Take time out for the leisure. So those things. It's a relaxation. So then discuss the problems. Utilize existing social support to problem solving. If you have social support, so remaining social supports to problem solving. Mm, then training. Prepare for the stressful events. How to the manage the stressful events like things. Then nutrition. Eat healthily. Avoid skipping meals like things. Avoid skipping meals is a problem for the gastritis and stomach ache, stomach problems. Then exercises like including a regular exercise. And you may do the exercise today. Then you will not remember those things, and you may forget it, and you again try to exercise initiate the exercise methods in next week. It's not possible. It is possible, it's not effective. So the regular exercise is needed. Then sleep. Get adequate sleep. Avoid fatigue, right? So the unnecessary sleeping also not good, but yeah, the adaptive sleeping. Then how to avoid then we discuss about the promoting adaptive coping. Then other thing is that avoid maladaptive coping as well. How to avoid maladaptive coping? Blurring of boundaries, avoidance or withdrawals, negative attitudes, anger outbursts, alcohol and drugs, hopelessness, negative self-talk, then resentment or the offense and violence. So these things. And then how to promote the resilience factors? Positive role models, optimism, humor, moral compass, altruism, religion, and spirituality, and the social supports may help promote resilience factors. Then positive role models. Hmm? So it is important for the transmit attitudes, values, skills, and patterns of thoughts and behaviors. So then optimism. So optimisms, the positive beliefs associated with the well-being, cognitive reframing, positive thinking, refute the negative thinking, and believe in a meaningful cause. So it is important to acknowledge relevant negative factors. Then humor. It is highly effective, so mature coping mechanism. So the Viktor Frankl says like following things about humor. Another of Saul's weapons for the fight or for self preservation. It is well known that humor, more than anything else in the human makeup, can provide an aloofness and the ability to rise above any situation, even for a few seconds like this. The moral compass is important. So conducting moral inventory, right? The Epictetus says like this: look not for any greater harm than this, destroying the trustworthy, self-respecting, well-behaved man within you. So that is called conduct a moral inventory. So the maintaining your integrity. So it is Viktor Frankl says like this: between stimulus and the response, there is a space. So in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom as well. Then altruism. So altruism. Unselfish regarding the welfare of others. Believe in a meaningful cause. Then it is a mutual cooperation, activates of a brain's reward center. Then religions and spirituality associate with the psychological and physical well-being. Gods against despair, provide social support, provide positive role models, and provides positive mission. Then social support. Social support has a profound effects on a life expectancy. patients have better outcomes with the strong social supports. Isolation and the poor social support are associated with the poor stress response. So few hard individuals get it alone. Signature strengths. Thus recognize skills and talents like inventory strength. So use your strengths and talents. Decide what works. So other thing is the actively cope. Apply the concept to enable active coping. So review the practical tips, right? Set realistic expectations, exercise regularly, eat healthy, and get adequate sleep. Maintain a work-leisure balance, and the positive reframing and optimism, and enhance social supports. So stress and health psychology. Health psychology link between psychological factors, physical health, and mental illness as well. So, what is health psychology? The health psychology is open to research across the lifespan, studies of diverse populations in a wide variety of settings, and the investigations of the reproducibility or the generalized ability of research on the psychological and the behavioral factors in the physical health and illness. So the positive psychological for stress coping. So it is called PERMA, right? P means positive emotions, energy, engagingness. R means passive relationships. M means meanings, and A means punishments. Then we will discuss later. Then PERMA model, positive emotions, then engagement, finding flow, and then relationships, authentic connections, meaning, purposeful existence, and achieving a sense of accomplishments. So that is in the parts of PERMA. PERMA means PERMA. P means positive emotions, feelings good. E means engagement, finding flow. R means relationships, authentic connections. M means meaning, purposeful existence. A means achievement of a sense of accomplishment. PERMA. The P is a positive emotions, relationships, work inspire you to be more creative and take more chances, high and positive aspects in your life. The pleasure is a hunger, right? The enjoyments in the intellectual stimulations, right? So the hunger and the intellectual stimulants or the pleasure and enjoyments may interconnected with each other. So E is engagement. Find activities need our full engagements. So relationships, strong interpersonal relationships, support in your difficult times. M means meanings, work, and why you choose to pursue that work. Why you are doing those works? That is a meaning. Then work and why you choose your pursuit that work. Then accomplishment. PERMA is the last one. Having a realistic goal in your life. So that is A. You should have a realistic goal. Your goal may not be imaginable. It not be in the imagination. It is maybe the practical one, right? But you should have an yeah, goal. So stress management. Under the stress management, we have to discuss about few things like recognizing, stop, replace, learn. Recognize, stop, replace, learn. Right, exposure to stress, occupational hazards, and hospitals. Sorry, occupational hazards in hospitals. Right, it is exposure to stress. So health staff stress, work overload, time pressure, lack of social support at work, especially from the supervisors and head nurses and the higher management as well. So exposure to infectious diseases, needle stick injuries, and the exposure to work-related violence or threats, sleep deprivations, role ambiguity and the conflicts, understaffing, career development issues, and even the dealing with the difficult or the serious ill patients. There are the health staff stresses. How organizations could support workers on stress management. So that is a key topic. So they should ensure that the workload is in line with the workers' capabilities and the resources. So clearly define workers' role and responsibilities. Then give workers opportunity to participate in decisions and the actions affecting their job. Improve communications and reduce the uncertainty about the career development and the future employment prospects. Provide the opportunities for the social interactions among the workers, right? The organization interventions like things also important. The team process, multidisciplinary healthcare teams, and the multi-components interventions. So the stress interventions involving workers at all stages of the interventions, providing workers with the authority to develop, implement, and evaluate the interventions. Significant commitment from the top management and the buy-in from middle management. And organizational culture that supports stress interventions, periodic evaluations of the stress intervention. So stress management interventions, training in coping strategies, progressive relaxation, biofeedback, and cognitive behavioral techniques, time management, and the interpersonal skills. So in the stress management, spontaneous relaxations, positive self-talks, satisfaction experience, relaxations should be done in the time management. And the problem solving methodology, the perceptions, the reaction changes like in sports, skill, and setting changes needed. So So the spontaneous relaxations, positive self-talk, satisfaction experience, and the relaxations, perceptions, reaction changes, and skills, even the setting changes are short-term relief. So the long-term changes is time management and the problem solving and the contacts as well. So list your current sources of stress. So you can do now these things, right? You have to do these things. The first thing is that list your current resources of stress. Conduct an inventory of coping strategies that you use or have used in the past. Include the maladaptive strategies as well. So list your strength and the factor that may enhance your resiliences. And while considering the above, they develop a personalized stress management plan to enhance your coping and resilience. Then make your own stress management program. So that is important. So until then, this is we have to discuss now. We have to think deeply. We will discuss these topics deeply in our next episodes. I think one by one with the in details. Yeah, the stress management is very important when you are working, when you are living in the family, when you are doing your works in the social organizations or the NGO, anything, anywhere, any place, right? So the stress management is very important for your health as well as your society health as well. So yeah, thank you very much for joining with us, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel and share your video. Share the video with your colleagues, and thank you very much. I am Pratulenigan from Sri Lanka.